Well, after traveling half the state, I finally made a wrong turn and finally found a place to buy cider in Michigan. And the donuts are still warm. Crunchy. On another edition of Michigan Roadside Parks, well, not really. This isn't the only thing in this video. I just happened to cruise along with no real plan today, and I'm a little early getting to my next state park where I'm going to spend the night. But let me show you where I am. So far my travels have brought me up here and worked my way up somewhere around here, then up here to here, then up through to, where was I last night? Somewhere up in here. Well, I've cut across and now I'm up here in Michigan. I'm getting closer, but I'm going to come down a little bit tonight to my campsite and head on up into the UP tomorrow. But since I'm here, that puts me on Lake Huron. First impression? Looks like the Oregon coast. Well, just because it's all foggy and I can't see anything. But there's a beach out here to explore. Rocks to explore. See people down the beach just sort of looking at rocks. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Like I mentioned before, if you really want to know what all these rocks are, go to Michigan Rocks YouTube channel. They'll tell you all about it. Signal building, the 40-mile lighthouse, and yeah, it's foggy out there. Fog system on signal used to be much more elaborate than a couple of speakers that they have now. Looks like it's just a nice park here. Must be bike trails. That's what the stone says, bottom of the lighthouse. Go up. 53 steps. Alright, I have my heel straps. Must have heel straps on your shoes. I think I'll wait my turn now. So this lighthouse, you can explore the living quarters, up in the tower, it's all open, including down here in the basement. The laundry was done, and a whole range of vintage laundry equipment through the years. And there's somewhat modern ones over here too. Now we're going to go down and explore a shipwreck. Now, ship actually wrecked offshore and there's a buoy out there for it. But a portion of it is sitting down here on the beach to be discovered. And it wasn't that they didn't know this wasn't a place to bring the boat. It was a storm brought it in, whether they wanted to or not. And I'm not really sure how far down the shipwreck comes. I still see pegs way down here. And with shifting sands, and depending on the storm conditions and what's happened recently, more or less may be exposed over time and you visit here. And where the buoy is out there, that's only 12 feet of water. So this is not a deep stretch of lake. That's Joseph S. Fay is the name of the boat. Now, they do encourage divers to explore the region and find the shipwrecks. So after all those Michigan lighthouses I visited, it was $8 a person every time you wanted to climb a tower. They should have a pass, because there are people who try to like hit them all and climb them all. They should have a pass to say, like, for X amount of dollars you have access to all. This is free. There's donation buckets everywhere, but it's much more park-like here, and people just coming to hang out and enjoy the space. Really very nice, very enjoyable. And I'm only like 2 miles from the state park I'm spending the night. For divers, the stretch Lake Huron has a lot of wrecks to explore. We're here, there are wrecks all around, and these are not deep wrecks. They are not that deep. It's not till you get out here before you get some depth. And that's usually why they wreck, because it wasn't that deep. But there's plenty to explore, and very nicely have all the coordinates lined up for you. Now, they have RV parking down here too, so you can bring in your RV and not worry about it. But what is this? Ah, interesting. You can be a guest keeper. That's an interesting way to RV live. Come be a guest keeper and stay at the lighthouse. Never heard of that, but that's kind of cool. That explains how they can keep that basically free, except through donations and proceeds from the gift shop. Well, I got myself checked into my campsite at Hoeft State Park. I had some extra time, so I headed down south along the coastline and found some more lighthouses. This one, the house is separate from the light. Ooh, I can go up there. Well, let's go check it out. Not much of a handrail. There yet. Ship ladder time. Ooh, we still have a light. Oh, it is hot up here. So this will be rotating for now. Lens in this one. For dual lens. Not currently active. There's no source inside. See nothing in the fog. So the timbers inside the building, holding the building up, actually came from a shipwreck offshore. That does not look like anything else. Anyway, the bell out there is actually from the town hall in town. Presque Isle here. We're gonna scoot down the road. This is the old lighthouse. There's a new one that was built like maybe 10, 15, 20 years later. And just a mile down the road, another one. This one built in 1860. Very different. It's interesting. I'm seeing it's brick and it kind of has a waver to it. This is a much taller light than the other one was. And there's a separate house here too. Now we're out on a point, but it's ways out all the way around to the water. And it seems to be a much larger park here. I just don't have time for it because they're actually going to be closing soon. So get up, get a good look. It is a tall one. So this is the lens that would have been up top until recently when the Coast Guard decided it was too far to disrepair and just put an airport beacon up top, but got this one down here. And yet again, from this lighthouse, just go down a little bit to the bay. There's another shipwreck down there. Amazing, all these places that had a light to protect ships. Shipwrecks. Imagine how bad it would be without the light. Well, I made it to my campsite. Like I said, I got in here a little while ago at a little before 3 o'clock before I then went back out. Check out some more lighthouses. So here I am at site 24. There are over 120 sites here. It is beachside, backside of the dunes here on Lake Huron. There's only a few that are truly, I would say, sort of beachside. The others are sort of set back a little bit, which is probably not a bad thing because nobody's actually on the beach. Now, I'm across the street from, well, the trail runs right by here. So anybody in this stretch here is as close as I am, and actually I'm probably closer than most. But there's no bathroom down here. That's up in the next section. So I got to go up the hill, but it's right there. So this is actually a pretty good spot. Now I'll do a full campground tour of this in a separate video, but just briefly, so this is the stretch that is closest to the beach. I think 1 through 30 or something like that here. This side, away from the beach, where I am, is pretty much open. There's very few people here because the sites are short. They're not very deep. The other side, along the beach, which you'd think they're booking it because of the beachfront, they're really booking it because they're longer sites that can handle the bigger rigs. And let's go wander down to the beach. Now, designated bathing beach, no glass or pets permitted. I came down here before, there were 3 dogs going nuts. I just saw a woman come running down here with a big glass bottle of alcohol. So, protect yourself as needed. Nice boardwalk coming down though. You know, because this is all dune. Well, heck, most of Michigan, the way I can tell, is dune. And we'll work our way out. Again, it's still kind of foggy here. Last night I was looking west at a sunset. Here, I'm going to have to get up in the morning to catch a sunrise because I am looking straight east. So they do have a marked off swim area. I'm not sure how deep it gets too quickly out here, but they do have plenty of warnings about different kinds of beach hazards. You know, rip currents, high wind, storm waves, none of which is active right now. I'm going to have to come back down here later and see if I can researched this with the UV lights along the shoreline here. But it's sort of endless beach. Gravelly here, rocky out there, and soft sand up there. So you can see this is endless beach here. There are wonderful bike trails here. If you bring your bike, you can catch the trail that, I don't know where it winds up heading southish from here. So definitely get it up to 40 Mile Lighthouse. That'll definitely get you up there. Definitely worth thinking about taking that bike trip. And I would not be surprised if I wake up tomorrow completely fogged in here. There's a really good chance that that's going to happen. Okay, so the blue pickup truck over there is running so that they can power the pump. It's filling up an air mattress that's sitting on the bed to go into that tent. Right behind that tent is 120 volt outlet. Well, for a day where I didn't think I was going to accomplish anything getting from one coast to the other, from Petoskey over to Hoeft State Park, I got pie on the way, I got cider on the way, and 3 lighthouses. Not too bad, and a little look at this state park. Like I said, I'll get out on the water later, but I'm also realizing why I rarely camp on the weekends. It's a little louder than I'm used to. Well, good morning from the shores of Lake Huron. Wasn't my best night last night after I came down here for sunset and then moonrise, and everybody else came down for moonrise too. I was actually quite surprised at how many people came down for that. That was already almost 10 o'clock. Well, the fire would have still been thrown on the fires of a few of my neighbors at that point, and they kept going until about midnight. It's the first time I've had to close the doors of my van to get some sleep rather than open them and enjoy the sounds. So much for 10 o'clock being quiet hour at the campground. I might have just chose poorly in my location. I'm not used to camping on the weekends. Not what I'm used to. Well, enough of my rambling there. So that's it for this video. A couple nice stops. You know, getting some pie, picking up the apples, or not the apples, the apple cider donuts and the apple cider. I only found that because I made a wrong turn. So I'm happy I made that wrong turn. A couple lighthouses and really a very nice beach. Now my cellular provider welcomed me to Canada because it pinged off a tower somewhere out there. Hopefully I'm not getting hit with data charges because of it, because I am definitely not in Canada. My next video, I'm heading north. I gotta cross the bridge, get up into the UP again. I'll see you on the next one. Get on out there and go stone hunting. There's lots of rocks to find out here.